Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about what you need to start a YouTube channel. As somebody who's done this full-time since 2016, I'm going to basically show you some of the things that I use, some of the things others use. Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you what you could Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you what you might need to start a YouTube channel here in 2023 and 2024, and some examples of some YouTube channels that may surprise you of how simple they are and how many views they actually get without having a lot of crazy equipment, and what you can get by on for almost any channel at a minimum. The first question, of course, is what kind of channel are you trying to do? Are you trying to do like a small niche channel like my main channel? It's a fairly small niche channel. It's mostly work from home jobs and side hustles and things like that that are, coming out on a daily basis. Or are you going to do something more broad? Are you going to be like a game streamer? Are you going to be a fitness YouTuber? Are you going to do a podcast? What are you going to do? But if I'm going to kind of cover what will apply to probably the most people. I think most people are probably starting out solo, and most people are probably making content that is about a certain passion of theirs or something along those lines. But first, obviously, you have to figure out what kind of channel you want, and that will have a big impact on what kind of equipment you may need. But I'm going to show you kind of what's required to get started to do a fairly good job without having to break the bank to do it. So first off, you need to make a new YouTube channel account, and to do this, you're already on YouTube most likely, which means you already have some sort of Google account, and you can either rename that one or you can separate them. I think it's best to just separate them. You have a YouTube channel that you actually post on to make money and everything. You have a channel or a profile where you can just kind of browse and save what you're interested in to playlists and things like that. So I think it's best to typically separate those. That's what I do. But all you got to do is go to the top right, and it'll tell you your account, your handle, and all of that. You just go to settings, and then you can just create a new channel from there. So it's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. And obviously there's other tutorials that cover this, but some of you may not have seen those, and I just wanted to kind of put it all in one video for you. So one thing you might need is a screen recorder if you're going to show yourself doing something on the internet in any way, or anything that has to do with a computer, any channel like that. You would want a decent screen recorder. There are plenty of free ones out there. The one I've used the most is Camtasia, which is something you can actually pay for and use for a long period of time. You don't have to commit to monthly payments or anything like that, but Camtasia does a pretty good job. I've been using it for years. I started with cheaper options. There was another one called, I think it was Movavi or something like that. There's some other free ones. The thing about free ones though is a lot of times they will have some sort of watermark or branding on them, and it just looks less professional. So I would try to avoid anything that has any kind of watermark on them. And like Screencast-O-Matic's another option, but like I said, this is Camtasia I'm showing you right here. You can see the files, you can see that I actually use it, and I'm not just recommending something I don't actually use. And then you just record your screen from there. You can connect your camera and all of that as well. You can also use, something like OBS Studio for free, but it can be a little complicated. It might not have a lot of features that you want. It's kind of a basic thing that a lot of streamers use if you're a gamer. So you can also look into, say, OBS. So you would just go to obsproject.com, and then you'll have something like this. You'll have this screen that looks kind of like this, and then you can add everything to it. You can add your different sources, like obviously you would have a camera, you would have some sort of thing for your gaming. If you're going to do that, you could have your screen for your desktop and all of those different things. So OBS is actually free. It's not going to have a lot of the different types of features that you might want. So next we have to figure out your camera situation. If you're going to be on camera, I mean, if you look at any major YouTube channel that you probably watch, most likely they're using a camera. Even if it's not somebody's face on camera, they might be recording themselves. I've seen cooking channels and stuff where all you see is their hands and what they're making. I've seen all sorts of different channels, but if you're doing anything that's on camera, you can just use your smartphone. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you have a pretty decent smartphone. Most likely, you know, an iPhone, a Samsung Galaxy, a Google Pixel, or something like that. And chances are you can create 4K videos with your camera if it's a fairly new phone. And you can do that using a free software called Irion, or Irion. I'm not really sure how to say that, but this is it. It's iriun.com. You can use this for your phone and make this your main camera, because you're probably not going to be on your phone while recording anyway. So you might as well use your phone, which I'm literally using it right now to record this. And this can actually make really good, clear videos. I used to use a HD 1080p Logitech webcam, and this one ended up making much better videos than that webcam. So instead of buying another webcam or buying a separate, you know, camera made by like Canon or something for hundreds of dollars, you can just repurpose what you already have using this free software. So you can do it for Windows or Mac or Ubuntu. And if you want to compare them, just compare, you know, whatever iPhone you have and look at, you know, whatever Galaxy you have, whatever Google Pixel you have, and look up if it is compatible with a 4K camera. But if you look at the types of pictures you can take with these, the types of videos you can take, you can typically do 4K these days with pretty much any major smartphone. So there's really no reason to have a separate camera. I think you can cut costs by just reusing your phone. Now, another thing you're going to need is obviously some decent audio. Now, unless you're doing some sort of like music or something like that, if you're going to do any kind of talking, which I would say the majority of major YouTube channels have some sort of talking in them, then I would recommend using something. If you're trying to go the cheaper route, you can. I have seen people use AirPods. They seem to have pretty good audio quality. You can look at, say, you know, a channel like Meet Kevin. Meet Kevin has millions of subscribers. He actually started a live one. This is one of his other channels now. But if you watch him, you'll notice that little that earbud in there, right there in his ear. And this guy has, you know, millions of subscribers. He's made millions of dollars a year off of just YouTube alone, outside of just all the other things he's done. But for audio, a lot of times you'll see this earpiece, which is typically like an AirPod. You'll also see people who do interviews or podcast episodes, and the person, especially if they're, you know, doing like a Zoom call or something like that, they'll have their AirPods in. So AirPods would be kind of the cheap route, I would say. You can also try what I use, which is an audio interface. I actually have had the best results with an audio interface. I use the Focusrite Scarlett series, and this is, you know, they might have a lot of other things now, but these are pretty good. They're pretty good bang for your buck. I believe it's this one that I have right here. They have some other ones with more, you know, features and stuff. You know, musicians and stuff use these as well. But these are really good for sound quality, and they don't make like a buzzing noise in the background. So I've also used, you know, I've used these types of mics before, like a Blue Yeti or something like that. And I think I just had to send it back because it was literally just making a buzzing noise in the background. And I just could not get rid of it for whatever reason. But when I switched to an audio interface, I had much better results using something like the Scarlett Studio interface. And these have very good reviews on Amazon. You can get whatever you need. You know, obviously you don't need a lot. Like this one has 46,000 reviews for a reason. It's one of the cheaper ones, and it'll meet most, you know, people's needs if you're a YouTuber, podcaster, etc. You know, now if you're trying to record, you know, studio level music or something, you might need something better. But other than that, I think you'll be okay with this. So next, you're going to need some sort of video editor. I mentioned something like Camtasia. I have Camtasia. Camtasia is great. It's, you know, it's a good kind of middle tier option that if you don't need a lot of crazy edits, if you don't do a lot of animations or a lot of just, you don't need a lot of the fanciest features out there, you can get by with something like Camtasia, pay a couple $100s, and you can keep it for years. Like I've used a version of Camtasia for years, and I upgrade something when I need it. When there's a feature I'm looking for, when there's a feature I really need, then I'll upgrade. But a lot of times you can save money by paying for the upfront amount and just avoiding the monthly payments, where you can also get, you know, what is a lot of people's industry standard, Adobe Premiere Pro. but it's going to cost you a minimum of $17 a month pretty much till the end of time, unless you want to try and get the the upfront version, which I'm not sure if they even do that anymore. But typically, they market this as a monthly fee. It's like a free trial, and then you pay like $17 a month for the first 6 months, then it goes up to about $23 a month. But with this, it might be better long term going into 2024 or something, because you can try it out for a little bit in a month. You don't have that upfront payment of something like Camtasia or Vegas Pro or some of these other ones. And they're supposed to have probably more integration with AI in the future, which could maybe speed up your editing process as things get more complicated in your videos. Now, last but not least, I would recommend something like canva.com for your thumbnails. If you're not going to hire somebody to do thumbnails, if you're not going to use something like, the full Adobe Creative Suite or something, you can create really good thumbnails for free or for like $10 or $20 a month using Canva. Canva has templates. So for instance, you're going to have a YouTube thumbnail template. You just click on that template, and then you can upload different images and stuff on here. You have different templates on here that you can use. Let's say you like this one, and then you want to change the font. You want to change, the font to Clear Sans. You want to change the color to, red. You want to do all these different things. You can add little icons, little images. You have little elements that you can add in here. You can add all sorts of different things. You want to add a heart in there, great. You want to draw something on there, you can do that too. You can do so many different things on Canva. I really don't know why you would use anything else for thumbnails, because one, you can get a lot out of it for the free version, and two, you can do a lot of other things with this that, you would pay a lot of money to a graphic designer to do. So for most people, I would recommend Canva, and it's something I use as well. Last but not least, I wanted to basically talk about, the rise of these more simple, more chill, more personal types of YouTube channels. Look at somebody like Sam Sulek. You see him, he literally just mounts his phone in the car and then talks or something, while he's driving. He's literally making money while he's driving, killing two birds with one stone, giving advice, and then he'll also, a lot of times record himself in the gym. He'll mount his phone somewhere and record himself in the gym. And then you'll see people do this stuff, and his channel has gone from, like a few thousand to 2.19 million in the past year or so. And, you see all these like YouTube marketing companies like vidIQ and stuff like studying what he's doing, and they're like, this is crazy, because he doesn't use any fancy edits. He doesn't use a lot of fancy equipment. This guy pretty much uses his phone on everything and just records himself talking, records himself bodybuilding, and, just being a genuine, real person instead of going nuts, doing stuff like Mr. Beast or whatever. I think there's something to that. Even if you look at somebody like PewDiePie, like if you look at most of his videos, a lot of times they're very simple. And he built his following for the most part by just recording in a room in his house, playing video games, reacting, and being funny. This guy is one of the biggest YouTubers in the history of YouTube, and he has 111 million subscribers. Now, he's a little more part-time these days just because, he's got a family now. But it just shows you, if you look at people like Sam Sulek, you look at people like PewDiePie, you look at how a lot of these podcast, channels now, like, have just basically two people talking in a room. They don't have a lot of crazy edits. They don't have a lot of crazy effects or anything. Some of these are the most popular channels on YouTube now. So you don't need a ton of crazy equipment. You don't need to worry about having a crazy budget to do this stuff anymore. Just be your genuine self. Do something that you think could make a difference, whether it's entertainment, education, talking about your passion, whatever. And if you have the main things covered, you have things like your audio, your visuals covered, however you want to do that, and you have a good direction for your channel, then you can make it work with, maybe a few $100s or less, and make really high quality stuff. And in many cases, there's a free version, or there's a certain type of technology that you already have in your home that you can use to do this. So hopefully this was a helpful video. Please leave a comment if you want to ask me a question. I'm going to try and post more on this channel in the future just to get some things off my mind, get some things off my chest. There's a lot I want to talk about just my experiences. Being a full-time solopreneur since 2016, I've learned a lot of things, and I don't really ever talk about it on anything, on my other channels, because they're more small niche type channels that it's not really the right audience for that. So that's why I'm gonna kind of use this channel as a creative outlet to help people that are kind of like me, that I can share my experiences as an entrepreneur with. So let me know if you have any comments you'd like me to cover in future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.